Record Hunter here. Cheers. Today I'm drinking Steel Reserve, the worst of beers, to tell you the story of GG Allin and how I met him. So, if you guys don't know who GG Allin is, GG Allin was a shock rocker, the ultimate shock rocker, who started off in the late 70s and started to become more and more shocking through the 80s and eventually in the 90s. Early 90s he started getting notoriety like on shows like Jerry Springer and um, Geraldo Rivera and those kind of shows, those shocking type of shock shows. So why he was so shocking is he would come out naked and then he would like cut himself up and he would spit on the audience and he'd urinate on the audience and defecate on the audience and he'd pick fights with people and just start beating people up. And it was just, he was a very, very crazy, wild guy. And one of the things he also was supposed to do is he was planning on Halloween of 1989 or 1990 that he wanted to kill himself. But he live. He wanted to go take a shotgun, shoot some audience members, and then shoot himself. But he he was in prison during that time, so he never got to do that, which is good because that was not good. But here's my GG Allin story. So it's Sunday, March 26, 1989, and I wanted to go to a local show, so I called my buddy Phil. He was a old anti-Nazi skinhead that I met in high school when I was a freshman, and I was hanging out with him for a couple of years. We used to go to shows, and so I call him and I say, "Hey, let's go to the show." And he's like, "Nah," he says, "I don't feel up to it, man." And I was like, "Damn, I really want to go to the show." And he's like, "Why don't you just go?" I was like, "Oh, well, you're not going, and Erwin's not going." That was my guitar player, my best friend that I grew up with. We started a band together, Spare Change, and he didn't want to go. Nobody wanted to go, and so he's like, "Just go, man. I already showed you how to get to all the places." So I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." So I go to the old exit on Wells Street in Chicago to go see Bhopal Stiffs and Screeching Weasel for their record release party. Mind, this is 1989, but both the records actually already came out in '88. I think the Bhopal Stiffs record got pushed a little. That's why they were doing this. But so they're doing a record release party together, and I go up there and I run into my friend Martine, who later, a couple years later, started a band called Los Crudos. They're a very big, big Chicago band in the Latin community, the Pilsen community. And this is a compilation record from 1991 to 95 called Los Pineros Gringos. So I just thought I'd show you that really quick. And so I'm hanging out with him, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I see somebody I know here, so that's pretty cool." And he introduced me to this band from Fresno, California, called Capital Punishment. They played the night before, but I didn't know about the show, so I didn't go. Wish I did, because I do like those guys, but I don't have any records by them to show you. Um, but they were really cool, and the guitar player and the bass player were there, and we're watching the show, hanging out. Really cool guys. So the first band to go on is ID Under. Great Chicago band. They only did a couple records. Singer later went off to join a band called 8 Bark, or start a band called 8 Bark. But they had a good song called Safe Street, I Don't Like You, Suburban Cops, and Bela Lugosi's Not Dead, You Are. I think it was a little crack at Bauhaus, or the goth scene in 1986. And they opened the show. And then Screeching Weasel went on. This is their second record, Boogada Boogada Boogada. And they had some good songs on here. My Ride, Hey Suburbia, Dingbat. And this guy here, you can see this guy here playing the bass, was a bass player of Ozfish Experience, and later he joined my band. His name was Warren Fisher. And then the headlining band was the Bhopal Stiffs with EPA. Some good stuff on here. EPA, Bottled Up, Road to Bhopal, I Came for You. And the singer later joined with John Haggerty of Naked Reagan, and they formed Pegboy. And so at the time, Screech and Weasel started their own label, and that's what they were doing that for. And they were called Roadkill Records. And I signed their mailing list, so Johnny Jughead, Screech and Weasel, sent me this letter thanking me for joining their mailing list. And then they always mailed me stuff, like just when flyers and things when they were playing. So when you used to go to the old exit, when you walked in, there'd be the bar, and then in the back room was like a stage area, and it had a giant gate, or a giant like round fence where the audience was in, and it was connected to the stage. So getting you an idea of like what the old exit looked like. But when you're walking in to the left, you'd have like the bar, and to the right there were some like tall bar tables, and all the way at the end of the bar, at one of the bar tables, leaning up against the wall with his eyes closed, and he had his sunglasses on and a bandana on his head, was GG Allin. And the guy and girl from Capital Punishment, they're like, "Oh my God, there's GG Allin," telling me and Martine. And Martine's like, "Well, I do not like GG Allin. He just did not like GG Allin and wanted nothing to do with him." And so me and the couple from Capital Punishment, they run out to the car. They're like, "Hey, come with me. We're gonna run out to the car." And they grabbed some shirts and some records, and we went back in, and they handed them to GG Allin. At the time, he never even said a word. He just had his eyes closed, and they said, "Hey, are you GG Allin?" He's like, opened up his eyes, and he just nodded. And they said how they liked him so much, and blah, blah, blah. And they handed him some records and the shirt, and he put his hand out, and he shook his hand. And then I went up to him, mining. He smelled very, very bad. Very bad. That's one of the things I will always remember, that smell. I walk up to him, and I hand him, saying, "I'm in this band, Misanthropic, but I'm in Spare Change, but we call ourselves Misanthropic at first." I hand him this flyer. And this is even before I called I didn't even have the band really together yet, just me and Erwin, and we were looking for members. And when we finally got it together a few months later, we put out this flyer and had the demo done and stuff. So I hand him the flyer, and he puts his hand out to shake my hand, and I says, "No, that's okay. I know where it's been." And I got a smile out of him. He never said a word to any of us, but I got a smile out of him. He could have like punched me in the face. This is like GG Allin's just known for this. He could have punched me in the face and kicked the hell out of me, but I got a smile out of GG Allin. I don't know. That's my GG Allin story. And since I'm at this point, I'll show you my few GG Allin records. Here's GG Allin and the Murder Junkies. Is like one of the last things he did. Actually, I think this is the last record he did. And there's GG on the back in the casket. It's from '94. Then I have this another GG Allin and the Murder Junkies from '91. Actually, if you can see this picture right here where my finger is, that's what he looked like. He looked a lot like that. And the last thing I got by GG is this first record from 1980. It's a reissue. It was reissued in 2020, and this is a really, really great punk album. Um, no Rules and Don't Talk to Me are like the best songs on this record. Just an amazing album. And that's it. That's all I got. That's my GG Allin story. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed it. And next time I'll come out with probably a longer video. Uh, I'll figure it out. Cheers.